In April 2026, Kenya found itself in the center of a growing storm. Fuel prices had crossed a psychological line, 200 shillings per liter. For many Kenyans, this wasn't just another price adjustment. It was a breaking point. Transport costs rose overnight. Food prices followed. Businesses felt the pressure. And across the country, one question began to dominate conversations. Why is fuel so expensive in Kenya? But as the weeks unfolded, another question emerged, one far more serious. Was the system itself compromised? Because behind the rising prices, a scandal was quietly taking shape. A scandal worth billions. A scandal that will shake the country's energy sector and expose how fragile the fuel supply system really is. To understand what happened in April 2026, you have to go back just a few weeks earlier. March 2026. At that time, Kenya was operating under government-to-government fuel import system, commonly known as the G2G framework. Under this system, fuel is imported through agreements with major international suppliers, ensuring stability, credit stamp, and predictable pricing. It was designed to protect the country from sudden global shocks. But then, something went wrong. A key fuel shipment part of this system was delayed. Reports indicate that vessel was stuck in Dubai, linked to disruption around the Strait of Hormuz. That single delay triggered a chain of reaction. Suddenly, Kenya was facing a potential shortfall of around 9,000 tons of petrol, and projections showed something alarming. If nothing was done, the country would begin running dry by early April. The situation was urgent. So, on March 9, 2026, a decision was made. The National Security Council Committee approved emergency fuel imports. It was meant to be a temporary solution, a quick fix to stabilize supply, but that decision will soon become the center of controversy. On March 27, a vessel known as MT Paloma docked in Mombasa. On board, approximately 60,000 tons of super petrol. The supplier, a company called One Petrol. At first glance, it seemed like crisis had been avoided. Fuel had arrived. Supply will continue. But then, question began to surface. Because the price of emergency cargo was significantly higher than expected, around $290 per ton, higher than typical G2G arrangements. And that wasn't the only concern. Allegations began to emerge. Serious allegations. There was a claim of data manipulation. Senior officials were accused of tampering with fuel stock data, creating the impression that the country was running out faster than it actually was. This will mean the emergency was exaggerated or even engineered. Then came concern about quality. Reports indicate that fuel may not have met standard specifications. There were mentions of high sulfur levels, manganese, and benzene.